and we're here, and it's happening right now. It's not 10 years from now. It's not speculation. So, age of disclosure, 34 people, whistleblowers, government officials, congressmen. I mean, all sorts of people are there. Right? But you have a nuke going off anywhere on the planet. What does that create? It creates the greatest climate of fear that mankind has ever collectively experienced because of the internet.
Yeah.
In the history of the world, we've never experienced that. And that's
true.
when they show up. That's when they show up. And they will say, we created all life on this planet. We genetically manipulated early man. We started the world's civilizations. We started the world's religions. Now, at this critical juncture, we are back. E.T., your space brothers are back. No more war, none of this nuke stuff, and we're going to usher mankind into a golden age.
What are the bodies?
That some of these crashes are gifts from them.
He did say that.
In your gut, what comes next?
Well, it's a really good question. I think
You're watching The Big Picture.
Shit, we got the OG in the house.
LA Marzulli!
Oh, come on.
you guys are totally unbelievable.
No, sir. This is your moment.
Yes.
This is you're the OG.
Oh yeah. Hey, you were born for this, man.
You were born.
This is your lane right here. So LA, how are you doing, first of all?
Well, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on. Great to see you both. I was just telling Peggy about you, and the two
Yep.
of you need to get together.
Yes.
We are the alternate Thelma and Louise. So y'all just need to know.
Y'all, I'm gonna just tell you something. LA he's known all around the world for this genre, but we really mean this, LA. You're the real deal. You're a man of God, and he's humble. He loves God with all his heart, and he is being used by God in this moment. So LA, thank you for coming on short notice. You're live in the studio with us tonight. You have already put out a video that I'm encouraging everyone to go to his YouTube channel and watch it, his reaction to the age of disclosure. But I just want to get your first initial thoughts when you sit down to watch it, knowing that you wrote your book, The Rungs of Disclosure. You knew this was coming, and you sit, there's his book right there. There it is, right there. There it is. Look at there. That's amazing. So as you've wrote the book, The Rungs of Disclosure, we've talked about it on our show, and you're sitting there and watching this. What's the first things going through your mind?
It's a managed agenda. This is so deliberate. Why now? And how does Don Farah get access to all these people?
Hello.
How does that happen? You know, Marco Rubio sits down with this guy. I tried to get Lou Elizondo on my show for the last year. I read his book. I have emails back and forth. I can't get him on the show. And, you know, and I get that. I come from a biblical prophetic perspective, worldview, which is a complete turnoff to a lot of these guys. But, you know, the opening statement, they've got a group of people, of whistleblowers, of congressmen, ex-government officials, whatever. And they're all saying, we are not alone in the universe. What does the church do with this? I've been banging this drum, guys, for 30 years. And even now, it falls on deaf ears. My phone's not ringing off the hook. I'm getting emails, but nothing, you know, nobody's going, oh, my, you know, you guys are some of the first people that have contacted me to come on and talk about this. This is the 25th rung on the ladder of disclosure. The book only has 17.
Yep.
It was published a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
So we're up to rung number 25. And what the show, Age of Disclosure, is rung number 25.
Okay, I thought that's what you said. I wanted to be very clear here on the big picture. You are saying, I mean, how many did you say that we're at right now? This is 25.
This is number 25, correct?
25. So, how many more do you think we have before we get actual?
This is disclosure without President Trump coming up to the microphone and going, okay, we've known about, and I think that's next. I really do, because there's really only one place to go, and that is President Trump stepped up to the microphone and states on the record, okay, you know, we're not alone in the universe.
Well, LA, we were talking about earlier about Trump. Come on, Donald Trump has given the opportunity to announce that aliens are real. Does anybody believe Donald Trump's going to leave that for the next guy, and that's not
No
going to be
way.
a part of his destiny and his legacy? No way.
No, I agree. I totally agree.
Come on.
There's a saying I came up with a couple of years ago that we go up in the rapture and they come down.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on this, and I've been saying this recently. It could be exactly the opposite. They come down, and then we go up.
Wow.
And if that happens first, there's your Second Thessalonians deal, the great falling away, the apostasia. And I know that people have a lot of different interpretations about this. I totally get it, and I have no idea whether I'm right or not. We'll have to wait and see what unfolds. But why is that even there? Some people think it deals just with Israel and Israel alone, and it may be, but do not be troubled in mind or spirit that the day of the Lord has come. Well, that's the wrath of God and our gathering to him. Well, that's the rapture. So there's two events. That day, what day will come? That day will not come until the apostasy, the falling away happens, and then the man of sin is revealed. So, to me, and I get it. I've sat down with theologians who are a lot smarter than I am. I'm just not convinced. I don't know what we're looking at. So if they do come down, if the UFO disclosure happens first, if they come down, that's the game changer.
Yeah.
And you will see a mass exodus from the Christian church as we know it. A mass. Is this the great falling away?
Wow.
I don't know. Right? I could be.
Could be.
It's certainly, and what bothers me is the church is still completely asleep to this. They don't get it.
Absolutely.
My phone's not ringing. You guys are calling me. John Matarazzo, Charisma News, Charisma Media. I did my show. I'm faithful to the calling that God's given me, but all glory to him. It's he's the one that sets my feet on paths. I didn't sign up for this. And I just pray to God I'm faithful in this hour, because this could be it. So,
absolutely. Wow. Wow.
This is uncharted waters, guys. It really
Well, it blows my mind what you're saying is that your phone should be blowing up.
Yes.
The first thought that comes to any pastor that is really trying to equip their congregation for the final deception, the first name that should come to their mind is L.A. Marzulli, because you're not some professor at Harvard that's trying to propagate an agenda, say no names, but you're a man of God that's going to approach everything from Scripture. And that's one thing I'll say about our church. We preach on this stuff on Sunday morning. I preach on aliens and interdimensional beings on Sunday morning in our church.
Hallelujah.
And come on. So it's like that, we're sort of like the freaks. Yeah, that's right. Well, so let's take a dive there. So you have said repeatedly in all your books that you've wrote that these beings, you believe that these beings are not interplanetary. You believe they're interdimensional, and you believe they're fallen angel technology or something like that. Was there anything in this documentary that swayed you either way, or did you get further confirmation?
No, look, the people that are in the show, with all due respect, they have a worldview. They are promulgating a paradigm, and that is that we are not alone in the universe. That's what they're all stating that. And they're right from their perspective, but they're not looking at the idea that these could be interdimensional entities, fallen angels, that are not from Zeta Reticuli or Epsilon Eridani or some other faraway star system. They are interdimensional beings. They are fallen angels. And what I also found interesting is they didn't really discuss the deception. They didn't talk about this cat and mouse game. They didn't talk about the abduction phenomena. They didn't talk about the body mutilation phenomena. Never went there. They talked. One gentleman is on the record stating, "I've seen the craft, and I've seen aliens. I've seen them." And two or three people, Mr. Pudoff, Dr. Pudoff was there, also talking about the fact that there were 4 bodies recovered from Roswell. Our film on Roswell, we have 2 films, there you go, in the debris field and exoneration. Wow. Yeah, there were bodies recovered from Roswell. Those of us in ufology, as a Christian ufologist, whatever, this is old news to me. We broke the story with Robert Salas.
Yeah.
Robert Salas was the base commander of the Maelstrom Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Group, where a UFO hovered over the gate and, it switched off 10 ICBMs. I mean, how is that even possible?
Exactly.
We broke the story in our Watchers series. We were the first production company ever to interview Robert Salas. So, some of this is really old news. It just confirms what those of us who have been, doing the research and talking about this for decades, literally. It's just nothing caught me by surprise, except for the fact that they have one paradigm, and that's we are looking at extraterrestrials. We are not alone in the universe. That's it. That is the paradigm that they were espousing in that hour and 15 minutes, whatever it was.
You are spot on. Of course, they're not going to say anything about this hybrid program and taking. I mean, that's not the goal, and they can't get off message. And quite frankly, it would completely freak people out if we talked about this across the board. But here's my question to you: what do you think about Avi Loeb? What do you think about Lou Elizondo? Are they gatekeepers? Are they really how they present themselves to us? What are they?
Great question.
Let me ask you something. How does Avi Loeb all of a sudden appear on all forms of media? How does that happen? Who calls up the producers and goes, "Hey, we want this guy on"? It's just like Tucker Carlson in 2017. Tucker is interviewing, which is the first rung on the ladder of disclosure, by the way. Tucker was interviewing Commander David Fravor, former F-18 pilot. And, Fravor says to Tucker on the show that whatever this was not from this earth. So how does Commander David Fravor, which is essentially a nobody, what I mean by that is he's not a media guy. He doesn't have books or DVDs or anything. He's just, he's an F-18 pilot. How does he wind up on Tucker? How does Avi Loeb, brilliant man, Harvard professor, I'd love to get him on my show. How does Avi Loeb all of a sudden wind up on all forms of media? Everywhere. He's ubiquitous. He's absolutely everywhere. How does that work?
What you're essentially saying is, or posing this question, were these individuals chosen for this moment, right?
Yeah, this is a managed agenda, in my opinion. And that leads us down a very interesting rabbit hole. It really does. Who's pulling the strings? Why now? Why is it that the Vatican, a couple of weeks ago, reiterated a statement, if there's life on other planets, we'll baptize an alien? Why are they saying that? I mean, why is it even there?
Right.
And so, you've got Avi Loeb talking about, Third Eye Atlas, Third Eye Atlas. And let me just walk you through that. Atlas is a Nephilim.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Atlas is a Nephilim. He's a Greek god. He's a progeny of fallen angels and the women of earth. That's our wheelhouse. That's my wheelhouse. Yep. So Atlas. So they're saying he's got the globe. He's got the world on his shoulders. Are they signaling that this is a global event?
Wow.
Just saying. This is conjecture. Third eye, right? Three eye, third eye.
Yes.
Enlightenment. The third eye is open. It's a global enlightenment that we are not alone. And I just watched a thing from the some YouTube video. My friend Sonda sent it to me, and the Angry Astronaut. That's what it's called. And he was looking at Three Eye Atlas, saying, "Wait a minute, this thing's got way too many anomalies. This is weird." So you get one side's going, "Oh, this is just a comet." You got the other side going, "Not so fast. We don't know what it is. What are we looking at?" I got to tell you something. If this is what Avi Loeb is postulating, at least saying, well, it could be. He's not saying it is, but he is saying, well, it might be. Not so fast, citizen. We don't know what we're looking at. If this thing stops or does a direct maneuver, then we're off to the races here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And wouldn't it just be just like this for that to happen? It's like, everything is strategically planned out, and everything is usually, I think, projected to be a distraction from something else that's actually happening. so that you know a little bit of the story, but not all of the story.
Yes.
I think we're just getting a drip of things of Three Eye Atlas, a drip of the disclosure when there's really major movement on disclosure happening, but they don't want to let that out yet.
Well, but this is the deal. Congress, and this is what people don't get. You know, folks, you need to get get the book and throw it to your pastor. More than likely, he won't read it, and I understand that. I really do. I totally get it, but he needs to.
Yes,
because
he does.
If they show up before the rapture of the church,
Wow.
that changes everything. You will watch a mass exodus from Christianity. You will watch it. You will watch the great falling away. You will watch the apostasia, the apostasy.
Yeah.
That's what you'll see. You'll see it in real time. I hope I'm wrong, but the way things are coming down, I hold on to things very loosely. And we are in unprecedented times. And you got to tell your pastor, Congress is talking about this, Pastor. Congress, we have too many whistleblowers. There were 34 people in this film, Age of Disclosure. They've seen the bodies. They've seen the wreckage. You know, you need to address this. And if you don't, you have to ask yourself why. And if they say, well, this has nothing to do with the Bible, think again. Why would Jesus warn us that even the elect would be deceived
Come on.
from what is coming upon the earth? Why would Jesus say that something is coming upon the earth? It's not coming from the earth. It's coming down. It's coming upon the earth. Men faint and fearful is coming upon the earth. Even the elect would be deceived if possible. Unless those days were shortened, no flesh would survive. And then Paul adds to it, Satan comes with all signs and lying wonders. Do we really think that this is some sort of a warm, fuzzy, statement by Jesus and Paul? We are seeing the coming great deception, and it's in our lifetime. And with AI, which is just at the point where we now no longer what's real. We no longer know what's real or what's fabricated. Yep. I mean, we are, folks, you got to wake up here. You got to wake up. This is it. It's coming down.
You have to get rungs of disclosure. Yep. This is, LA's a man of God. He would tell you, get the Bible first, but then you got other books that can help you understand things in the Bible. Yep. And Jesus, man, in all the things and all the people that he could have told his disciples, go back and study this guy, and it'll be the conditions of when I come back. He chooses the days of Noah. He chooses the Nephilim. I mean, come on. He's so intentional with everything he says. He was trying to tell us, LA, am I not speaking truth here, of trying to prepare that final generation for exactly what we're talking about.
And we're here, and it's happening right now. It's not 10 years from now. It's not speculation. Okay. So Age of Disclosure, 34 people, whistleblowers, government officials, congressmen. I mean, all sorts of people are there, right? And, they were talking about the Stevensville lights. I covered that story. It's in our book. It's in my book, Further Evidence. I sat down with Ricky Sorrell. I mean, he was the guy that he's out hunting on New Year's Day, and he gets caught up in a bunch of brambles. He's out deer hunting, right? And he looks up, there's a mile-wide craft over him. There's a mile-wide UFO. He could not see the edges of the craft. That's how big this thing was. And guess what? It takes off and goes where? It's headed towards George W. Bush's ranch. And they reference that. They reference that in the film. And I not only did I interview Ricky Sorrell, but I interviewed the reporter who helped break the story. She was later fired, by the way. And Ricky Sorrell went dark. He got tired of black helicopters over his house at 2:00 in the morning. Wow. He got tired of phone calls at 2:00 in the morning, telling him to shut up, and on it goes. That's how the game was played when the Stevensville lights happened. This is years ago. Yeah. And I interviewed both of these people. So a lot of what was in the film, I've written about. I've got books about it. I've got videos on it. So, it's just I got to tell you, folks, this is a coming great deception.
See, what we're doing now on this program is we're breaking it down spiritually. But when we watched the documentary, you watched it, other than that one guy made that one reference to somebody told him it was demons, and he almost sort of mocked them for doing
Shrug
that.
it off. Shrug it off. Right.
Shrugged it off. So why do you think that you would go so far is to expose all of this and say you have bodies and say all this and not even mention the abductions?
Because they're trying to couch it in a way that doesn't make people fear. And, and we have my business partner and I, Gil Zimmerman, shameless plug, but we have 10 films on the whole UFO phenomena. We are the only Christian ministry that has 10 films on the UFO phenomena. Everything from Close Encounters of the First, Second, Third, and Fourth Kind. Roswell, there's 2 films on Roswell. Cattle mutilations, the darkest film I've ever worked on. Abductions, and finally, what is the truth? I mean, we cover all aspects of the UFO phenomena, but from a biblical perspective. And you would think, again, it's like I was walking around the property here in the Santa Monica Mountains a couple of months ago, and I was just talking to the Lord. I was saying, Lord, it just seems like most of this is falling on deaf ears. And then I feel the Holy Spirit kind of tap me on my shoulder, and he goes, well, now you know how Noah felt. And I'm not comparing myself with Noah. Please don't misunderstand me. But I just broke out laughing. I said, okay, Uncle, I get it. I totally get it.
But LA, you were so brilliant to have laid the foundation and done all of this work.
Yeah.
What wonderful resources you already have in place for when people begin to panic.
Yeah.
They're panicking. Yeah. They want answers to questions. And you already have it there, documented by video, by book.
That is so good.
And I'm going to say 2 somethings. My first something is, do you not hear Dr. Stephen Greer rustling behind the curtain, stage right, getting ready? He's getting ready to come onto the stage at this moment, right? And I want to make a prediction.
No. Drum roll, please. Look out.
I'm gonna predict that LA ends with 33 rungs of disclosure.
Oh, right. 33. You're going to redeem 33, brother.
We're redeeming 33. We're taking it back. Woo!
Oh, that's awesome. LA, I do have, and that would be cool if the Lord was to come back on the 33rd rung of disclosure.
I'm just being silly, but it could happen.
That'd be awesome.
But who knows, right?
Yeah.
Who knows?
So let me ask you this. You mentioned in your show, and they referenced this as well, the Vatican. You've talked about it already here. One of the things they say in the documentary is they say the Vatican itself has strong evidence in their statements of non-human intelligence. Now they're saying they're going to baptize them. What role do you see in disclosure, and as we go through the further rungs beyond this 25th rung, that the Catholic Church, the Vatican, is going to be stepping in at some point? Does that question make sense?
Well, no, it does. There are 2 billion Christians on the planet as we speak. The largest denomination of Christianity is Catholicism. So that's 1.2, 1.3 billion people. So that's the largest number of people on the planet. And that's what they're going after. So the scenario, in my opinion, is a nuclear device goes off somewhere on the planet. Why is Trump saying, well, we're going to start testing nukes again? Why is he even saying that? Right. Iran is saber rattling once again, starting up that old nuke program. All they care about is blowing Israel off the map. That's it. That's all the mullahs care about. It's insane what we're looking at. Hamas and Hezbollah has rearmed, and they're saber rattling again. All it takes is one nuke. There's an interesting film that just came out a couple of weeks ago. I've been telling people you need to watch this. It's predictive programming. It's called House of Dynamite.
Yep.
And in that film, there's a nuclear event. There's a supersonic intercontinental ballistic missile, but it's supersonic. It's like shooting the bullet out of a gun. Good luck trying to shoot that thing down, right?
Right.
And it's headed towards Chicago. We never see the missile hit, but the kill factor is at least 10 to 12 million people. And now what do we do? Do we respond? Do we stand? What do we do? So think about this. If a nuclear event goes off, and I've talked about this, it's actually the 17th rung of disclosure. It's conjecture on my part. But you have a nuke going off anywhere on the planet. What does that create? It creates the greatest climate of fear that mankind has ever collectively experienced because of the internet.
Yes.
Yeah,
In the history of the world, we've never experienced that.
that's
And
so
that's
true.
when they show up. That's when they show up. And they will say, we created all life on this planet. We genetically manipulated early man. We started the world's civilizations. We started the world's religions. Now, at this critical juncture, we are back. ET, your space brothers are back. No more war, none of this nuke stuff, and we're going to usher mankind into a golden age. We know that there's going to be a one world government and a one world religious system. This is the nexus. This is how you create it, in my opinion. Are we here? I'll tell you something. We give out these tracts, and I want to thank my friend Brad Myers for he's the impetus behind this thing. So what I'm about to read is channeled information. In other words, it comes through a woman who is giving herself over to an off-world entity. In my opinion, this is not possession, but it's demonically inspired all day long.
Wow.
So it says this: we are here, we are the Pleiadians. Okay. Humanity is learning a great lesson at this time. The lesson is, of course, to realize your godhood. Well, as Christians, we know that's the lie we heard way back in the garden.
Yeah.
Surely when you eat fruit, you'll become like God, knowing good from evil. So the enemy, there it is peddling the same nonsense he peddled thousands of years ago.
So good.
Then it goes on. If human beings do not change, if they do not make the shift in values and realize that without Earth, they could not be here, then Earth, and its love for its own initiation, is reaching for a higher frequency, will bring about a cleansing that will balance it once again. So what is the cleansing? Here's the punchline. There is a potential for many people to leave the planet in an afternoon. The people who leave the planet during a time of Earth changes do not fit here any longer, and they are stopping the harmony of the Earth.
Oh my goodness.
They have just explained away the rapture of the church.
Yeah, that's right.
They've just explained it. There it is. And that's how it's going to be couched. When I was a New Ager, I've been a Christian 45 years. But 50 years ago, when I was 25, I was a total New Ager. I heard this, what I just read to you. I heard this 50 years ago. And we are that close, in my opinion, to seeing it manifest.
That is unbelievable. I mean, this is chilling. This is chilling, but it's also exciting.
Yes.
This is not fear. This is for the believer. This is exciting.
Yes.
We're not gripped with, oh Lord, what's it going to be like? No, we need to realize, God, you blessed us to be that generation. We're the Daniel generation. Seal up the book until the days that knowledge shall increase and many shall run for it too. That's us.
It.
That was us.
And
That's
LA
it.
just packaged this entire thing for you guys and put a bow on it for you. And it's not even Christmas yet.
Yeah.
Right?
Black Friday special tonight, live on the big picture.
Hey, listen, he puts out great content every single day.
He
You
does.
need to subscribe to his YouTube.
I mean, you are just you're a machine, brother. It's amazing.
It's on point. He's on point. He is right there with the pulse of what is going on. You guys need to subscribe.
Yeah, you
Come
do.
on.
You do. So, LA, I want to respect your time. How much you got? You good?
Yeah, I'm here for you. I mean, this is really important. And,
It is.
and we need to make sure that we, wrap it in a way that the average guy who, isn't a theologian
Yes.
just wants a simple answer.
Yes.
What am I looking at here?
100%.
Why hasn't my pastor warned us of this?
Think about that.
Why weren't we told? Why didn't you address this, for crying out loud? Why?
Yeah. So what do you think about, LA? What do you think about when somebody comes back and says, okay, you're saying they're demonic, you're saying it's fallen angels and all this. What are the bodies? And what these bodies that they say that they're in this film, the Age of Disclosure, they say, people even not say that we have them, they say, I have seen them. I have seen the bodies. What are the bodies, LA? When in your deep dive of study this from a biblical perspective, help us understand that.
Okay, years ago, decades ago, I was trying to figure out what the grays were, the gray aliens, the ones with the big heads, the big eyes, the small bodies, slit for a mouth, 2 holes for a nose. So I called my friend David Flynn, the late David Flynn. He passed away
Yes.
years ago. And I said, David, I'm starting to wonder whether these UFO crashes were deliberate. In Age of Disclosure, Puthoff talks about this. He talks about that some of these crashes are gifts from them.
He did say that.
Right. He said that. So we can back engineer. So let me walk you through it. And I would come up to the line and I would run away from it because it was just, there's a thing called cognitive dissonance.
Yep.
And some of your audience probably is experiencing that right now because we're in the deep end of the pool. This is not a feel good, happy moment.
No.
We're in the deep end of the pool. We're talking about the great deception. We're talking about the machinations of the dragon, of Satan. We're talking about what's being cooked up in Hell's Kitchen. This isn't your best life now, folks. And if you want that, go somewhere else because you're not going to find it here, at least not now. And I want my best life too, but I'm also aware of where we are. So we know that the Nephilim are on the earth. We know that. We know that there's a seed war where the seed of the dragon is warring against the seed of the woman, Genesis 3:15, the gateway to the rest of the Bible. So in Genesis 6, you get fallen angels having sex with human women, creating a hybrid known as the Nephilim. The Nephilim have no soul, in my opinion. They have spirit and they have bodies, no soul. Only God gives the soul. And because of the progeny of the fallen angels, not going there. So you got to remember, when Jesus is talking about, it'll be like the days of Noah when I return, everybody's going, what do you mean? Where are you going? What do you mean when you return? But everybody, 2,000 years ago who hears that statement, they know exactly what Jesus is talking about.
Yes.
How do I know that? Because according to the Josephus, the first century Jewish historian, the bones of the Nephilim are openly on display in the time of Jesus's sermon to the people. It'll be like the days of Noah. They are openly on display. Why? So when the people would come up into the temple, they're not in the temple, but on the way to the temple. So you're a 13-year-old boy, and you turn to your dad and go, Dad, what is this? And your father would say, well, those are the Nephilim. Those are the bones of the Nephilim. This is what our forefathers, hundreds of years ago, had to fight and clear the land from. These are the Nephilim. They all knew what he was talking about. Fast forward to the 4th century, where you get the knucklehead, Julius Africanus, and he is a knucklehead, who invents the Sethite theory. And then with Augustine, spiritualizes everything. There is no seed of a dragon. It's all allegory. None of this is literal. It's all spiritualized, blah, 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 blah. No. Why would Jesus tell us to be like the days of Noah? And what differentiates the days of Noah is the creation of a hybrid being known as the Nephilim. So the Nephilim are the progeny of fallen angels and human women of earth, creating a hybrid known as the Nephilim. When the Nephilim are killed in the flood, they come back afterwards. There's a second, third, fourth, fifth inversion. It just continues until the cross. Then it switches and changes. That's why I wrote Countermove, How the Nephilim Returned After the Flood. But I digress as usual. So you've got the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. And the book of Enoch tells us that the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim are the demons that wander the earth. A demon needs to manifest in a person or an animal or an object. The dragon knows this and is thinking to himself, I got all these demons and they can't really manifest in earth time, in our dimension. However, if I create a biological suit, an avatar for them to go into, then they can manifest in Earth's dimension. That's what they are.
Wow.
That's what they're avatars.
Is this what is also referred to as Ebens? Extraterrestrial biological entities?
Well, that's another very complex question because you've got the grays, which I believe are meat suits, but then you got the tall whites. Tall whites are not meat suits.
They're not.
No, you've got the insectoids. You've got the reptilians. So fallen angels, Metaschismatosi, I got that word from the late Russ Dizdar, What is metaschismonousai? Metaschismonousai is the ability for the fallen angel to present itself in any way, male, female, an angel of light. They can shapeshift. They can appear. Why is it that Paul tells us angels, some people will entertain angels unaware? How does that work? Right?
Yeah.
Look, I don't have all the answers, nobody does, but it's complex. But what I can tell you is this: the tall whites, fallen angels. Insectoid, they're shapeshifting. They're presenting themselves. Reptilians, they're just presenting themselves in a different way. I think that the reptilian is their true form. Nordics, metaschismonousai, they're shapeshifting to appear as something wonderful and holy. In my very first book, Nephilim, A Truth is Here, there's a whole chapter in there where they walk into a room and there's this angel of light, just beautiful angel that's there and manifesting. And everybody's like, oh my gosh. And finally, the protagonist goes, in the name of Jesus, and just like that, it stops and it changes into its true form. And this is all the deep end of the pool. And I've never seen it. Well, that's not true. I've had one. Well, that's not true either. More than one. Yeah. As I'm saying it. Don't you remember that? Oh, yeah. So I was on a ski lift. Skiing is my favorite thing to do. Okay. I was on a ski lift, I don't know, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. It was spring conditions in Mammoth Mountain. Nobody was there. Midweek, nobody was on the mountain. So I'm skiing up and down on this one run just by myself. Peggy's on another run someplace, more of a beginner run. And it was kind of icy conditions, but it was still skiing. And I'm going up and down and up and down. So I ski onto the lift and I'm getting ready for the chair to come around and pick me up. I hear a voice, hey, mind if I join you? No, come on up. So this guy comes up and it's a 4-seater. So I'm here and this guy sits here. So the empty 2 seats are empty. So, dude, like far out. Like getting loose, right? So, oh my God, LA's doing the devil.
Oh, no, look out.
So I'm here and he's here and there's 2 seats between us, okay?
Wow, okay.
And he goes, how many days of skiing do you have this year? And I kind of puff up my shirt, about 14 or 15. I'm thinking like this before this guy went, oh, I've got 123, days. I'm kind of going like, what? This guy skis every day. He's wearing a racing ski outfit, skin tight. He's really in shape, but he looks like Kris Kringle. White hair, white beard, sparkling blue eyes. Okay. Then he goes, I guess you're still working, right? I go, yeah. And he goes, well, what do you do? Well, I make films. I write books about the Nephilim. So I'm thinking to myself, here we go. Now he's going to ask me the question, what are Nephilim? Nope. He doesn't do that. Wow. He goes, have you ever heard of itchy, like scratching? Itchy Boots? I go, no, Itchy Boots. Oh, she's got 1.2 million subscribers on her YouTube channel. And at this time, I had like 120,000 subscribers. We're up at 262 right now. So I go, wow, that's way beyond my league. Never met this guy before. Never seen him before or since. No idea. There's 2 seats between us. He reaches over and he pats me on my right shoulder. And he goes, you're doing the right thing. Keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track. And at this point, I've got brain fog. And I'm thinking to myself, it's like, wait a minute, what is going on here? I don't know this guy from Adam. How can he possibly make a statement like that? You keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track. You're doing the right thing. Seriously?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
And he reaches over 3 seats and just gently taps you.
3 times and anoints me, taps me on the shoulder.
Okay. So
I know. I'm not making
you
it up.
entertain an angel unaware?
Come
That's
on.
me.
Come on. That's amazing.
I love it.
Well, LA, where do you see? Okay, so this is the 25th rung. You're declaring this is the 25th rung of disclosure.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is.
What comes next? What is in your gut? What comes next?
Good question.
Well, it's a really good question. I think Trump, and you've already hit the nail. There's no way Trump's going to leave us for somebody else.
No.
This is the biggest thing in all of human history. There's no doubt.
He's going to
Right?
say, "I was born for this moment,"
Yeah.
right?
I was born for this moment.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, he ain't nobody. Listen, everybody, just stop talking. Donald Trump has got something to say that no other president in the history of presidents and no president after me will ever be able to say again.
And I don't think he wants anybody else on the face of this planet
Yeah,
to get
right.
out there before him to say this.
Yeah. So
I
in
think,
your gut, you think that's next? You think Donald Trump begins to?
Look, Congress is already talking about it. David Grush, who is in the film, stands before Congress. We have non-human biologics that were retrieved from crashed UFOs. I mean, it's all there. It's coming down. We're back engineering the propulsion system from these things. This is why the whole F-35 thing to the Saudis, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's a joke. What they have is so far advanced from an F-35, it'll make your head spin if they reveal it. Because this technology, and this was rung number 24, no, number 23 on the record. So this UFO is cruising along like this, but it's all lit up. So it looks like an orb, but it's not an orb. What you're seeing is the gravity wave. And when the gravity wave is turned on, the craft just glows. And that's conjecture, but that's why there was, and this was shown in the halls of Congress. So the craft is going like this, and they fire a Hellfire missile at the craft. So the missile comes in, it's all on film, and it hits the UFO, and the missile just disintegrates.
Yeah.
And the UFO just keeps going.
Yeah.
What do you do with that?
What do you do?
That's run number 23.
Yeah.
Where do you file that one? Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Man, I don't even know where to go now.
This
it's
is
just like, wow.
Video gold.
This is video gold.
Video gold. We love it. Awesome.
So LA, we as we move further and further along in this process, you're gonna be getting a call from Alabama. So I'm gonna be calling LA, going, LA, look, I could cover this, but if you're free, we need the man on here to break this down.
Well, look, first of all, I'm honored that you would say that, but let's give glory where it's due, and that's to the King. This is all. I didn't sign up for this. This is the Lord directing my steps, the Lord giving me wisdom. So all glory to the King. That's the first thing.
But you did say yes. You did say yes.
And we're thankful that you said yes. And I love what you said earlier, that it's like God knew when this happened, there would be hungry people. It would be the remnant. It wouldn't be a lot of people, but there's going to be, I need to know the truth. Yeah. And you have a library already ready in video and in book form to explain every single thing people are seeing.
Right.
It's already there.
It's there.
It's already there. And basically you just go to get anything that he has going. I think I got his website up here. It's lamarzulli.net. And when you go there,
either one.
Either one. So this is your.
Wow.
So tell us a little bit about what all they can see and do when they go here at the website.
Well, I mean, there's 33 films and 14 books. We have a special right now, Run Till Disclosure. It's right there. So you get the 2 films from Roswell for $30. I mean, that's a deal like you can't even, it's like a $60 value or something like that.
Yeah.
Even more.
Yeah.
And, we're just trying to make it available to people. But this is, it's coming down, folks. Wake up.
I'm going to tell you that little track that you talked about right there on the right-hand side, what is the truth? That's going to be so valuable. I mean, I'm ordering a bunch of these right now myself. That is going to be so valuable because that's a quick way to get it in the hands of people to maybe give them some answers when all this starts expediting. Because I think it's going to be like a snowball. I think I
agree.
Yeah.
It's rushing like this. I mean, what do you do with this?
Yeah. What do you do with it?
Where's it going to go? I mean, okay, so Congress is going to go on break and nothing will happen. But the fact that Age of Disclosure comes out Thanksgiving weekend, everybody's going to be watching this thing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, and you and I both, and all three of us have said multiple times here on the show and to each other and to privately that you don't get to say those things unless you've been given permission to say those things. So I mean, it's like they could have stopped that. The powerful people could have stopped that. So they let this documentary come out on purpose because that's to set up the next rung.
Yeah, it's a managed agenda. There's no doubt about it. You know, how does an unknown filmmaker, essentially, Dan Farah, get to interview all these people? Yeah. You know, I sent our Holy Shroud Fire, Holy Shroud, Holy Fire. You know, we can't get the first base. We can't get, you know, and that's okay. Maybe that's the Lord's doing, you know. There it is. Holy Shroud, Holy Fire.
Yeah. Wow.
Beautiful.
Well, LA, we are just so grateful and so thankful for you to be on our program tonight. Of course, Big Picture family, your Big Picture family, your family to me and Sandy. We absolutely felt as a huge connection with you when we were with you in Orlando.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
It was crazy.
Good times.
Lifelong friends now. To know that we have friends like you in these times, it absolutely means the world to us.
Yes.
Well, the feeling's mutual, likewise, and you know, we'll see what the Lord does, but we're moving into areas that are uncharted. We really are.
And quickly.
Yeah, quickly.
Look at how many decades there was a stone wall.
Yep.
Nothing could get through. And then the drip, and now it's coming faster and faster. It's amazing.
Yep.
Well, you tell the lovely wife that is she Thelma or is she Louise?
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
we got to get them together to figure out which one's which.
Oh boy, look out!
All right, well, brother, thank you again for being on the program. Be blessed, and we'll have you back soon.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving,
guys.
All
Take
right,
care.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Man, what in the world just happened?
I loved it.
That was amazing.
I am so excited for this moment.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, I didn't know anything about this. I come in, you surprised me with, hey, guess what's going to happen?
Yep.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So let us know in the live chat what y'all think about having LA on here tonight. That was just phenomenal. Nobody speaks with that kind of authority in this subject. And I love that it's not just authority. He never wavers from his stance on God. It's just incredible.
He is on point.
He's on point. Wow. Well, look, I want to continue. We're not through yet, y'all. We got a big audience watching right now. And if you come in here and you've never been to the Big Picture, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel wherever you're following it. Show us some love. Hit that like button. Share a program, and come back for more programs like this because this is what we do. We're not ashamed. That's why we call it the Big Picture.
You're watching the Big Picture.
Thank you for watching this clip from the Big Picture. If you'd like to watch the full show, click here. If you'd like to watch more content just like this, breaking news and more, click here. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel by clicking here. Thank you for hitting that subscribe button. Thank you for hitting that like button. And we'll see you next time on the Big Picture.